Yo, what's up everybody? It's been a while since I posted a video, I hope you guys are doing fine. So, while everybody went slaving away on PoE2, I pulled out the hipster move and went back to D4 and see how much it changed in the last 2 years. Well, I was kinda memeing at first, but then I started having a lot of fun discovering all the new content and how they fixed most of the issue they had back then. And if you watch some of the way bigger content creators complain about D4, I think their issue is that they've been playing too much of it, and that's about it really. Because in my opinion, D4 isn't bad anymore. Let me show you why. First, I'll quickly go over what changed with the old content and how they improved it. Then we'll check the new content, Escalation, Tributes, Infernal hordes, Rune, and massive changes to itemization. So, what's new with the old? Firstly, Nightmare Dungeon stayed about the same. They now have an affix that will increase the drops that you get from them, and a downside that will add a layer of difficulty. As for Lair bosses, we still have the same as 2 years ago when they introduced Duel, but of course there's new ones. First, we have an initiate Lair boss, Rivar. The fight is decent, only one immune phase and one telegraph skill that can shred you. Then we have two new greater Lair boss, on the same level as Duel if you're wondering what it means. First, we have Endariel. If you have ever played Diablo 2, then you'll probably be happy to see her in Diablo 4. But wait until you fight her. She has 3 immune phase and an additional one just before she dies to mess with you. Although you can skip the last one if you stun her before killing her. Next is the Harbinger of Hatred. This is the physical avatar of Mephisto, and probably my favorite boss to fight. His animations are great, the timing on visual cue to dodge his attack are on point, and his immune phase are interactive. You're not just running around waiting for it to finish. But I don't want to spoil too much in case you decide to try it yourself. I think discovering it is part of the fun. Now, after you're done with any Lair boss, you have an encounter with Belial. It has a chance to proc. It's not guaranteed, but there's a decent chance to happen. And the sneaky little rat will pop when you are looking at your loot. So pay attention to the sound. If you hear him talk when you open your reward chest, then get ready to fight. And when you kill him, then it will drop you a key to open the reward chest of its exalted version, the one that you saw me fight at the start of the video. That's it for Lair bosses. Now, Helltide haven't changed much in 2 years, but there is 3 changes that makes a big difference in how enjoyable they have become. First, and the one that got me screaming like a little girl, you don't have to go on a third-party interactive map to figure out where the mysterious chests are anymore. Now you can just open your map and look for a bright orange chest. Boom, done, I love it. Secondly, they have reduced the amount of big events you have around. Talking about the orange circle where you have to spend 2 minutes doing some kind of activity, in favor of massively increasing the micro events you find around. These are basically one-click events that spawn a few packs of monsters for you to obliterate. It can take the shape of a summoning circle, Hellspire, Demon Tower, a possessed dude asking for help, whatever. It's everywhere, and it makes the pace of Helltide much more enjoyable. Finally, you have an infamy bar now. Look at the top right corner. Basically, you can think of it as the star system from GTA. The bar fills up the more demons you kill, and when you reach a new threshold, a bunch of demons spawns around you. And when you hit the maximum, you get a lot of them. There is even a demonic Shayulud puking monster all over you. And at the end of it, it's a spawn of a champion. Basically, a beefed up rare with much better loot. Escalation is a new content that got added to the game in the last 2 years. There isn't much to explain as it basically is the final form of Nightmare Dungeon. At least for now. You enter using a key just like any Nightmare Dungeon, but it's actually a chain of 3 Nightmare Dungeons back to back, getting increasingly difficult and more rewarding. They are faster to clean than usual Nightmare Dungeon, and they have a treasure room. You find the key, open it, and inside is a chest guarded by a pack of elite for extra juice. Once you are done clearing a dungeon, a portal opens leading to the next one. When all 3 dungeons have been cleared, another portal opens leading to a fight against Astaroth, a beefed up version of Astaroth. I personally found the fight very interesting mechanically and on the same level of difficulty as a greater Lair boss. Once he dies, you'll get a ton of loot based on the drop affix that you rolled. A crafting material, ancestral gear, seasonal resources, or you can even get the heroic drop affix, which had a handful of unique from every lair bosses. And it's not a rare proc at all. I've seen it about 30% of the time. Tributes are also a new piece of content that came in with the expansion Vessel of Hatred, if I'm not mistaken. To unlock the tool to use them, aka the Undercity Spirit Brazier, located in the Cura's Bazaar, you need to complete the quest line given by Ormus. Once you do, the Spirit Brazier will be accessible and you'll be able to burn tribute, opening a time challenge content that will reward you based on which tribute you've burned and how much of the challenge you have completed, allowing you that way to target farm specific resources or item like Rune, Obducit, Lair Boss's Key, and more. Once you're inside, you'll have a limited amount of time to reach maximum attunement. You can do so by killing monster and igniting beacon. You can also increase your time limit by killing specific monster, noticeable by the hourglass above their head on the minimap. Once you achieve maximum attunement, all you need to do is get to the end of the dungeon and kill the boss to unlock your reward chest. Simple, useful, straightforward, a good content overall. Another new endgame content added more recently is the Infernal hordes. Much like tributes, you need to complete a quest chain in order to unlock access to the content. And it's absolutely fun, I'm having quite a blast with it. So, to enter you need a compass. These can be found in Helltide chests, caches from the Whisper Tree, or even rewards from the pit. When you enter, depending on what tier of compass you used, you will face 6, 8 or 10 waves of uninterrupted monster inside an arena for 1 minute each. The way this wave works is as follows. You kill a bunch of normal and elite monster, and after killing enough of them it procs a micro event. After clearing it you will get some burning ether, and kill your way to the next micro event until the end of the wave. Your goal is to collect as much as possible to trade them against reward at the end. Every time you finish a wave, you get to pick between 3 different choices that will impact the gameplay, kind of roguelike style. You get to improve the micro event, to get more burning ether, or add new one and pile them on to make your run as lucrative as possible. Once all the waves are done, you get to fight the Fell Council. Remember these? If you ever played Diablo 2, then you have already done unspeakable things to them while grinding for rune in Travincal. So nothing new here, you can just trample them as the weed they are. Once it's done, you get to open the main chest. If you have at least 200 burning ether, that is. And then you can convert the leftover either in large amount of gold or gems and obducit, depending on your needs. Runes add a new layer of customization and power creep for your character. But if you have ever played Diablo 2, then forget everything you know about runes and rune world, because the only thing they have in common is the name. There is 2 kinds of runes and they work in tandem. One generates unique resources and the other one consume it to proc an effect. For example, the Zan rune will generate 150 offerings every time you cast your ultimate, and the Mot rune will consume 150 offerings to generate 1 shadow from the rogue skill's Dark Shroud. This can be used on any class, of course. I found the rune quite fun to play with if you're not obsessed with going for the meta rune world, although you can only have a maximum of 2 rune worlds active at a time. And now the most important thing. And I know some people are still unhappy with the itemization of Diablo 4, but I think at this point they just will never be pleased and they are in desperate need of a good blowjob. Because compared to what it used to be, I think this is quite good. So your gear in the endgame has 3 levels of rarity. The legendary, that you can still customize with aspect. But now, instead of always being the minimum roll, every time you disenchant an item with the same aspect, it will grow and you can craft a higher and higher roll until you can craft the maximum roll. Pretty good, right? But that's not all. You can now add affixes to them. Using the tempering mechanics, you can add 2 affixes of your choosing to every legendary item. You can choose from a pool of 3 or 4 affixes that you like and roll until you hit the one that you want. Although you can only temper a certain amount of time per item, kinda like the forging potential of last epoch. And you can reset this temper attempt once per item using a restoration scroll that should drop from the final chest of Infernal hordes or Citadel. Then you have the unique item. These have most of the build defining mods that your build rely on in order to scale into the endgame. They didn't change much, but there is a lot more of them than what there used to be 2 years ago. And finally, you have your mythics item, very powerful and very rare. These cannot be traded, but there is a silver lining. You can craft them. That's right. You can craft the best item in the game, but this won't be easy. There is two ways of going about crafting them, and in both cases you need 2 resplendent spark. These sparks can be obtained from disenchanting mythics item, or you can get 2 of them from the last rank of Horadic knowledge, and 1 from the seasonal chapter reward. So the first recipe is only 50 million gold and 2 sparks for a random mythics. The second one is a target craft, but it will cost you a large set of rare runes. Challenging, but worst case scenario you can always buy these runes from other players. Now, 2 things I haven't mentioned. First, all these items can drop as ancestral, meaning they go from item level 750 to 800 and gain 1 or more greater affixes, GA for short. A GA will always be worth 50% more than the maximum roll of the normal affix version. You can recognize them immediately by the little star next to them. The second and last thing I haven't mentioned is the master working system. Every item can go through it, and it's basically the old school Korean MMORPG upgrade where you get your item from +0 to +12. Here, for every level, all the affix on your item will grow by 5%, and every 4 level, one random affixes will get an increase of 25%. And you can reset and restart as many times as you want in order to get these 25% on the specific affix that you want. Now, with all of these tools for power creep and target customization of your gear, there isn't a reason to be mad. It's actually quite enjoyable. It's not too easy, but it's not too hard either. Just the right amount of challenge to see some kind of progression, growth, every play session you do, which is not something you can say for other ARPG that are more elitist. Now, I still have to talk about auto-loot pet, pits and glyph changes, mercenaries, citadel, and trades, but I know that the video is already getting too long, and 80% of the people are already moved on because they can't handle my suave and sexy French accent, obviously. Anyway, if you're still here, I'm gonna do you a solid and speedrun the last topics. I also have a street surprise for you at the end. Alright, get the timer ready, and top. Pets, they're cute, they're useful, they pick up gems and resources for you, it's free, no requirement to unlock, very good stuff. Pit and glyph changes. So, they added a greater rift from Diablo 3. You get in, you kill a monster until the bar is full, it procs a portal to the boss, you kill the boss, and then you get access to the upgrade for your glyphs. Now, the glyph also goes up to level 100, and at level 45 you have to pay a large amount of gem fragment to make them legendary, and add a growing damage mod on them. Mercenary. You unlock them during the main quest of the expansion Vessel of Hatred. They are great, you get one with you all the time, like a summon, and another one that comes in periodically every 20 seconds during fights as a reinforcement. Also, they have their own currency and you can trade a lot of stuff from it. Resources, gear, Lair boss's key, etc. Citadel. It's meant to be a massive co-op raid with 3 wings and a boss and a reward chest at the end of each wing, and a massive reward once you've cleared all of them, but it was really underwhelming, it takes forever to get through, the co-op challenges are really sad at the bottom of the creative pit, and the reward at the end will make sure that you never want to go through it again. And finally, trades. I didn't get to try it, since I came so late in the season I didn't even bother, and I also didn't feel the need for it. SSF on Diablo 4 is perfectly fine and feels quite rewarding, but there's a massive website called diablo.trade with a lot of users apparently. So here you go, try it out. You can trade almost any item as long as you didn't craft on it, runes and Lair boss key included. And done! Well, that was fast, definitely my PB. I'm done holding your leg, guys. I'm leaving you with the satisfying stuff I talked about earlier, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace! Oh, so good. dude.